Katrina, I know. I know.
He just walked up, sat down next to me, and looked me in the eyes as if he knew I would help.
Yeah, because you got an avocado?
At first, I didn't even realize that it was a squirrel in front of me. He was tiny, his fur matted, his eyes barely open. And suddenly, I caught myself thinking, that's it. We're going to have a squirrel at home.
Yeah, you know you like that. You know you like that.
This story began by accident. That day, I was helping my mom in the yard. I was fiddling with tools, tidying up, the usual stuff. And suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed some movement by the fence. I came closer and saw a small lump. It was breathing, very quietly, barely noticeably. It was a baby squirrel.
I gotta go get you some food. How are you? How you doing? The people miss you. I know.
How I edit some real squirrels in a video, Ma?
I have no idea. You edit everything else, DJ.
I picked it up, wrapped it in an old t-shirt, and carried it into the house. I called my mom. At first she thought I had brought a kitten, but when she looked closely, her eyes widened. It's a squirrel.
I don't know. I want you to show me something.
Okay, then you gotta come here.
We immediately started looking for information on how to care for wild squirrels. It turned out that it was no more than 4 weeks old. It would not have survived on its own. We started feeding it with a pipette, warming it with a hot water bottle, and making sure it didn't get dehydrated. We named it Richard.
Yes, that's a whole piece of avocado right there. Tear it up.
The first few days were anxious. It hardly moved and slept almost all the time. I woke up at night to feed him. Gradually, he began to recover. He grew stronger. He developed an appetite. And then, a personality.
I will wait for you. Tell him, if the world was ending.
After a couple of weeks, he was already running around the sofa, jumping on the pillows, and trying to climb on my head. He was nimble and very curious. It seemed that everything in the world interested him. And he was also particularly trusting. He wasn't afraid of us. He climbed into our hands. He fell asleep in our palms. He was just with us, and that was enough for him.
How you doing?
I like that.
How you doing?
My mother, who at first just shook her head and said, "You're crazy," very quickly became his best friend. He would come to her in the kitchen, sit next to her while she cooked, and even try to steal nuts right off the table. She laughed and said, "So, do I have a new child now?"
It's okay. Come on. Here. Come on. You can.
Don't turn into him like she's big.
Once I took him with me to the backyard, just to get some fresh air, and suddenly he took off and ran up a tree. I froze. I thought, that's it. I'll never see him again. But after a couple of minutes, he came back down. He sat next to me. It was as if he was saying, "Don't worry, I'm here. I was just looking down from above." Since then, he often ran up trees, came back and sat on my shoulder. Sometimes he disappeared for an hour, but he always came back. We started calling it squirrel walks. He was free, but home was still with us.
You like it? Yes. Yes.
Over time, other squirrels started coming to us. We didn't feed them on purpose, but Richard must have spread the word. Mom said, "You'll name them all, I know you." And she was right. Luna, Kroshik, and even one I simply called Jay appeared. They weren't as tame, but sometimes they would come closer, especially when my mother called them. She seemed to have her own language for communicating with squirrels. We even had a joke, "Mom, do you speak squirrel?" Richard is still with us. He has grown, become bigger, fluffier, and smarter. He no longer runs across the table and steals nuts. But in the mornings, he still climbs down from the tree and sits at the doorstep and waits. I go outside and sit down next to him. We sit in silence for about 10 minutes. Then he goes back to his business. Sometimes I think he understands everything. He just doesn't say anything. If you like this story about Richard, like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more touching stories. Before bringing an exotic pet into your home, be sure to consult with experts and learn about their specific needs. Proper research is the key to giving them the happy, healthy life they truly deserve.